And we're live. A second map going on, in case people have missed it. TLG GORECOPS have won the first map, Tarmac, and that means this is now on the line for Uncertain Love Triangle to either even it out or for TLG to actually take it home. Was it 2-0? Beans immediately going into the match by picking up the Ghost, giving valuable intel of Snala being pretty close, yet not too close. This might actually be very nice to get the first round in that way. One problem with them always picking up the Ghost on either side is that one team has to give up a weapon in exchange for it, so as we saw, he dropped the Ghost later on to get back his gun.
Ooh, caught him through the smoke.
They got the advantage. They took down the lady, so they only have 2 more to go. That allows Smile to just go for intel, at least for a moment. Taking a set or silence that he found.
Pushed up behind him. Oh, I got him though. Seth's all down to Osaka.
Osaka can easily pull this if he gets a drop on both of them, because the HP of them combined is still way less than his.
Yeah. He's got the health advantage for sure.
But Smile is coming up from behind. He could potentially actually go for the kill here. Now he's by himself though, so this will prove...
He's going for Ghost?
Oh! It actually doesn't seem like... Oh, Osaka's not able to catch up at all. There's no way he's gonna make this.
Fuck. It's not blacking out Spectator again.
The plugins always seem to mess up on Oil Stain today. Maybe something might be wrong in combination of the map. Or it could be because we overwrote the 3v3 plugin.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, it could be very well just mean that. Also, as I said, Sunabuza, they don't see it when they're alive, so... So both of the teams fairly aggressive at the first choke point. The East alley. Snala starts initiating this by taking down Beans. But the rest don't seem too aggressive with anything they're doing. Smile's just hoping for people to go through the party zone. Very unlikely though, because they're all moving as one unit with a Ghost. Smartest decision as well. I don't really think they're going for the cap at all. They just want the intel in order to like lock down the other 2 guys and make sure that they get the round here. Ooh, nice Kyla kill here. So, Inignod has not much to work with but his fatty bonus. He's about to get pushed. Actually taking down Lady as he gets pushed upon. Though,
flanks him though.
The reloads are always a bit painful. He was so close to out of ammo there, and taking on 3 people as they push onto you. Yeah, either you know how to conserve your ammo to the point of making every bullet count, or you get to the point where you're unlucky and you gotta reload. And being a support, you don't have much room to escape, so... Yeah, that's very unfortunate for him. Very good try regardless. I am seeing a ZR long on Oil Stain.
It's a pretty good weapon choice actually. You can play tight or you can play the back lat bed pretty easy with it.
That's a fair point, and where he is right now, being in the East Alley all the way back there, it's not too bad of a choice at all. It's still funny though, because you wouldn't imagine a map like that to be that way. He's peeking onto Beans as well, not kicking it off by getting Osaka here. Snala might be able to like even it out though, because he got Beans pinned by just, you know, looking down that corridor. So they had a brief dance around the boxes. Beans just taking his...
Beans had a pretty good angle for that.
Taking the liberty to just finish Lady off here. And now it's down to the ZR long. Ooh, getting jumped right into the corner. So we got Uncertain Love Triangle in the lead by just 1 round, but that might just be enough to take the map. You never know. They got a
There's
quick
no
switch
massive
going
score
on here.
difference either.
There's one MX on the ground that was switched between the assault and the support. You would actually think they would switch it maybe with a recon or something, but nope. The MX was passed on to the support for more firepower. Smile's getting taken down by Snala, so the recon is out of play for Uncertain Love Triangle here. Other than that, the play seems a bit passive at the moment. Nobody's really pushing. They're just gently poking to see what's up. And I feel like TLG is just trying to reassemble into a different location any second once they checked all 3 lanes. There we go. Lady picked off one and everybody starts to move. And you can see the pincers. Ooh.
Oh, nice.
That was a really good grenade. I was about to call the pincer
That
here,
was
but that was
awesome
shot
balance.
down. So we're down to this 1v1 situation of Osaka actually not looking at the basement at all.
Oh, gets a couple shots in. They're both 1 shot now.
They're both on the run for this round.
Chances are they're gonna time it out.
Yeah, Bees is just retreating here. Yeah, Beans is just waiting in between the rooms. And Osaka also seems to just very slowly move along. And there is the timeout. Pretty anticlimactic, but very understandable because both were in a situation where the push could have turned around in favor of either team.
Yep.
So we're facing.
Osaka does get a post round now.
We're facing 60-second duration of the game
Like
being
he just needs
paused.
to reset his game.
We're seeing the best action of Osaka and Snala doing something and then magically stopping. They both stopped at the same time. Very peculiar. Not sure what that was about.
Synchronized weapon swaps. Nice.
I really wonder what is going through Uncertain Love Triangle's head right now. Because I'm pretty sure they're plotting. They're figuring it out. Problem is that Lady's not even back and they're now on pausing. So, I suppose we're back live.
Look at that, around 5 of 7.
Well, he came back in time, so all 3 members are alive. I was just going to check that real quick. We got them scrambling through the parking lot. Also got just taking care of Western Alley here. Smoking that up. There's nobody in the party area. You can quickly neglect that.
Push down mid. Man. They're taking all of garage.
Snala holding an interesting angle here all the way into the eastern alley with his center long. He actually got a good shot on Beans, it seems, because I've checking his HP. Beans is down to 2 points. And he's just doing a thing of like taking the ghost further and further to the front. Always getting the intel. Maybe trying to get by even.
Oh, he can cap on this.
Yep, Beans is in for the run. Snarl is just going and going. And he's just one corner away now. There's no stopping that. That is the second cap in the whole mat. It's crazy how quickly you can just slip through with a ghost cap if you just take the initiative.
Yep.
First Smile, and now Snarla. Both recons basically met. Actually, it wasn't Smile. I think it was Beans. I think that made the run for the ghost first time.
No, it was Smile.
Okay, so both recons basically just made a run for the ghost and ended up capping for their team. Points are still fairly even in terms of ranks and for the round points as well. So this is actually getting really tight now.
They're all holding angles right now. Ooh, Smile caught Snidely out though.
That recon blast off here. Ooh, Smile switching weapons, not able to actually catch himself to at least fight back a bit.
Oh my god.
But yet, Uncertain
So
Love
many
Triangle
refract.
just pushes through and like gets the third round. I was a bit confused for a moment what happened there.
Yeah.
Well, it's good on them because they have one sergeant at least. The other two are so close to getting it as well. 9 points each. One kill is enough, or just winning a round, and they will all be on the same level in that regard. GORECOPS are having 2 sergeants, so they're a little bit in the advantage of firepower. Beans is already compromised, getting pushed back through the smoke. At least they're trying to, but he's not backing off. Snarl just comes around doing a pincer move, and he's pretty much probably going for the ghost any second now. Here we go.
Sprang through the smoke though.
Yeah, that ghost blip is not doing him any favors. Smile is on the run here. He's trying to reposition himself. Moving up towards
Didn't
the
hear him
ghost.
move. Oh man, he's gonna get a huge flank, isn't he? Nope, picked up Ghost again. They're gonna see him.
They most likely will, but if Snarla goes down, he still might be able to take a run for it. They have the general idea where he is
Osaka
at the
turned
moment.
around.
But Snarla's not picking up the ghost again, so he has a bit time to roam around, reposition again, but runs right into the MX of Snarla. The problem always is that once they picked up the ghost, have a general idea where the person is at, and they start moving around to, you know, circle them in. But the other person, they only know, okay, the ghost has been dropped again, and they can't really tell in which direction the team is now going. So,
Yeah.
it's always a bit of a mind game on both sides, because once the ghost is dropped, you try to reposition so the general location of yours is not an actual thing anymore, but on the other side, you also got to make sure that they don't go that way and run into you early. So people are quickly scrambling through the parking lot. The ghost is immediately into play again. Osaka just opening up by killing Smile.
Smokes into calorie made. Tons of grenades being tossed.
Yeah, the grenade play seems to be very strong on both sides in this oil stain game.
Ooh, Snally got around him.
What a
nice.
turnaround. It's been going into an equal state very fast again. Snarla taking down Enignot, who had quite a rampage here.
One good
they're
shot
closing
from
in a distance.
Shotgun will kill Beans.
Beans should be backing away instead of closing in the distance here. Snarla's just jumping around.
Saw him. Traded for range though. too bad.
NSF, or well, Uncertain Love Triangle, rather, are keeping the lead, even if it's just one round. If they keep going at this pace, even though it's close, we will be taken to map 3, and we will look at Transit, which probably will end up as an aggression fest of both sides. They turned it around in terms of points as well, because now Uncertain Love Triangle has 3 sergeants, and Lady is behind as the only corporal now.
Yeah, Certain Love Triangle is getting a lot of points. They have a lieutenant now.
Beans is opening it up, Smile following up, a quick trade happening on Osaka's end, but it's... Ooh, he's actually going through with another kill here. Though it might not be enough, because Iningnot is at full health, and the smokes, they won't really do much in this case, because he's facing another support. It now just
Osaka
boils
gets
down.
free hit. He might take this back.
Yeah, now it just boils down to him getting a drop or not. Because I don't think Iningnot realizes... Well, maybe he does. They're both in an angle where they cannot see each other, though. Very peculiar.
Thinks he's coming from their spawn.
Ooh.
Catches him out.
A risky push right there, and he nearly would have gotten it because it looked like Iningnot was about to look at the spawn again rather than the basement.
Yep.
So they're in the lead by 2 rounds now,
Got a
slowly
lieutenant.
building up
Let's
a
see if
proper foundation.
Oh, no SRS. He sticks with the MX.
It's a pretty safe pick on this map because you wouldn't know
It's a
how
really
much
safe
harm.
pick.
You wouldn't know how much harm Snala would deal if you would pick up the SRS after killing Beans. I am hearing a dead pack though, which ended up in Eastern Alley at the corner behind the container, so you can't actually see it. Snala's pushing it up to the dead pack. They could blow it up
man.
right now, but Smile goes
Nope.
down. No chance. That would have been
Snell
a
got a
certain
lot
dead
of
kill.
hits on Indignot too.
That would have
Gotta
been a
help this
very...
Yeah, that would have been a good attack.
So Osaka is taking care of Iningnot as well. Beans down by himself. He has firepower though. He can take it off. He can take it to win. Ooh, Snile came in actually directly looking at Beans as if he was expecting something like this. Actually, I think... Oh yeah, they were holding the ghost, so yeah, they actually didn't just expect, they actually knew. My bad.
Snell picks up a shotgun with his new lieutenant status.
So they're close to maximizing the damage output on their team, 2 MXs and a shotgun. Whereas Bean seems to be sticking with the MX here. But they're in a not too bad position, regardless of losing that round, because they have weapons. They have
teams are
one
playing-
round advantage.
Yeah. Both teams are playing extremely close to each other.
And both of them seem to have a fair mixture of aggressive play styles and then being defensive. Snala was very reserved at least 20 seconds into the round, and I'm not sure what made him move to strike now, but it was probably the best time he could have picked because he picked off
Definitely.
Iningnot out of nowhere, and the ghost
He
carrier
found
had
a
no time to respawn.
reloading at the dumpster.
It also looked like the ghost carrier wasn't even looking at Snala approaching, so...
Ooh,
Beans is shouldering it pretty well once more.
it's gonna be rough.
All he has to do is take down Lady, which is in a big disadvantage in terms of health points. And there it goes.
Gets him, nice.
One more round, and they will actually pick up Oil Stain, which means a cert map.
That was
And-
an ace.
That was. I didn't even pay attention to that as much as I was paying attention to the fact that They are actually in the lead in terms of people alive at that point in time.
Yeah. It's looking like it's going to be a third map on Transit. That'll be interesting to watch.
Beans is definitely pulling a lot of weight for his team right now, especially being the last one alive most of the time, just, you know, getting those last kills required to pull through. He's taking a basement route here, setting himself up. Now he is the person that is pretty much up front the most. Smile is just giving the intel. Probably a bit inspired by Snala constantly using the ghost to move forward and call out people. But I'm not seeing any of the NSF or Jinrai doing much besides Snala just moving up a little.
Basement's going to catch Snala out.
Yep,
Get him down
50
to
points
50.
of damage, a bit softened up, and he has to retreat. It's a start, but it's not what they're looking for exactly, because Snala, even with low health, is still a huge threat in their eyes. I'm not too sure about the smoke in the alley, but it doesn't seem to bother Snarl at all. Just pushing up to Smile, who didn't seem to have pulled the dead pack trigger once again.
Beans left alive again. Clutch
Taking
it
out
though.
Snala immediately. So he has to face a support, both have an MX, so he's in a bit of a disadvantage, but he has a cloak, and if used properly, that can throw off the support here. Or they're going for a timeout because there's just 10 seconds left. That could also very well be the case. But they're running into each other now.
He's going to time it out now.
Ooh, Beans!
Oh, last
I
second
wouldn't have-
frag. Oh man, I
I
would have
would
sat
have turned
there.
around there. That probably was the biggest mistake that could have happened in a situation like this. Two lieutenants on the sides of GORECOPS now. Snala and Osaka being the two. I'm not sure if either of them are actually interested in using lieutenant weapons. Snala seems to
Snala's
be.
using the shotgun again, but
Yep.
the PZ's not super useful, and I don't think shotgun's going to swap classes.
Well, having seen the match with I forgot who had the piece last time. I was thinking it was Almighty Sheep. It can prove useful because of capacity. Oh, and there's
That's
quick,
true, yeah.
there's quick exchanges happening just in the party area and the general direction of the boxes.
Snala got a good flank there. It's a 1v1 now.
Oh man, it's a recon standoff now.
And next
Snala
one's that
just-
fight.
Yeah, it's now just quickly equalizing the situation here. It's now down to actually either win it
The comeback,
and take it
yeah.
home, or win it and take it to the third map. There's a lot on the line on both sides now.
They had a good snowball
getting-
going, but
Really tight. There's a weapon switch happening between the GORECOPS. Snala is taking in the AA. He's going for a possibly very aggressive route now, just trying to overwhelm them with sheer amounts of firepower.
he's going to shut down Calorie Mate.
Right at the boxes already, he is going in fast. Right past the dead pack. Smile not pulling in time once again, letting him slip past it. Can he not? He's about to face the AA. But Beans is also in a position where he could be next. Smile is just sweeping around.
Beans catches Osaka out.
Snarl just turn around. He's on the hunt now.
They got better intel on where they're at now.
He is on the ghost. Not sure if he's actually going to try to pick it up with the AA though. So Snell is just looking around back up there, and he runs into an knot. That's the second
Caught him
of
out
three.
over there.
One more for him
Beans
to
takes-
get the ace.
the same position. They're gonna find him out with the ghost.
If he's okay, they're actually going for the pickup here. He now has
They're
to
not
think.
playing aggressive enough. They might time out.
He has to figure something out. Because it's enough. There's enough time to get to the cab zone, which means he will have to, deal with an encounter. But on the other hand, he cannot really stay too active because
Catches
otherwise
him
that happens.
before he jumps. Oh, that's 2-0, GORECOPS. Man,
That was
Triangle
so
had a really
close
good
to...
snowball going on. All the way 20 rounds in. Jesus. He played really well.
So close yet so far. One round, and we could have seen Transit. It got a bit of a stalling position, it seems, because they had a lot of things going for them, but then there was just something that pushed itself in front of the success for them to, I don't know, do it again. And then there was the fact that Smile always seemed to be a bit slow on his dead packs. We saw Snyla slip through 3 times. And those 3 times, Smile never thought it would be the best time to pull the trigger at that point, dying to it. Very unfortunate, because I'm pretty sure one of those dead packs would have decided to take it to the next map. It's always the small things that seem to have the most impact in games like this.
Yep.
So let's see if they're all on the Mumble. We got Beans. Beans is on the
Beans
Mumble.
moved
We
in
got
from Agil's Mumble
Enigma
server by producer
on-
San. Inya 12
on
moved
this
in from
end,
Agil's
and
Mumble
I'm gonna
server by
drag people
producer
from
San.
NSF in here. They're all
Lady
gonna
moved in
remain
from NSF by
suppressed until
producer
I'm
San.
done moving.
Osaka moved in from NSF by
Okay.
producer San. Snillo moved in from NSF by producer San.
Just unsuppressing everyone, and then we can get to the last post-match interview for today.
How long's
There
that been,
we go.
producer? You've been at it for 4 hours or so? 5 hours?
Well, you must be tired.
I have been casting ever since 8 p.m. and now it's 1 a.m. So yeah, I've been at it for 5 hours.
Damn. Appreciate it, dude.
Let's say the throat is a bit sore, my eyes are burning, but I'm still going through. So, match is over. Last match for first match for today. We got a second one coming up at 11 p.m. GMT plus 1, 10 p.m. GMT. So yeah, how are you feeling?
I think we're feeling pretty good.
I'm kind of hungry.
Last match
Well played, guys.
here on Oil Stain was so
Thanks.
close.
Yeah, very,
Space
very
really
close.
well played.
I'm ready to go to bed.
I'm going as far to say that Smile's delayed attempts to deadpack you, Snella, are one of the reasons they didn't move to the next map. Because if one of those deadpacks would have gotten you, it would have turned around everything.
Yeah, I mentioned, I saw, I think that was 2 occasions where I just saw that jetpack on the ground, but I also saw him just turning around and running, and I knew that, I could just push that jetpack anyway.
Yeah, the AA-13 push was actually really fortunate for you because you just jumped past that, and right then he just peeked for you for looking at it, and then you were already past that, finishing him off.
Yeah.
If you would have just pulled it a second earlier.
If he'd pulled it as soon as,
Yeah.
he'd, run away, then maybe, but, it's odd. Recons don't really do that. I mean, he could have even killed himself by accident by doing that. It was just that I got, a pretty good series of hops in. Because sometimes you get the AA, and you're like, shit, this is it, this is my time. And you completely fuck up all your bunny hops, and make a complete tit of yourself. But no, I managed to actually keep it together. Towards the end of that.
Very good place on both ends, though, especially on Olstein, because otherwise it wouldn't have gotten as far as it ended up being. Beans carried a lot of weight in this game as well, because you were down by yourself a lot, Beans, and you just somehow managed to get the picks that nearly pushed it to transit as well.
Yeah, I tried. It's I don't know. I guess when you're by yourself, you can kind of play some of the more pubby style, hopping around, being a retard, if you will. So, you know,
I
you don't
just
have to
feel
support.
like,
You don't have to think team wise that way.
I
You
just feel
kept
like if you
carrying
would
it.
have pushed up to the ghosts a bit more rather than just staying at the cab zones, you would have done yourself a bigger favor, because when they ended up picking up the ghost, they would just reveal your location and give you a hard time that way.
I think I don't know. I guess being safer earlier in the rounds worked out well. I think it supports my better. But once Snella had the AA, pushing up probably would have benefited me more.
That surprised me in a bad way.
Oh no, I heard it early round. I thought I called it out. Perhaps I didn't, which probably fucked me over. But I didn't know where he was, so I was a little scared to push up, and ended up fucking me over because he, you know, came out of the corner.
Yeah, it's something I discussed with my team. Something I've discussed with other people is a sort of adopting a new style of recon play, which before, like, I was sort of like any sort of pub style recon, you'd sort of push an advantage and push an angle until like you won and you got the perfect flank. But now, more often than not, I play super passive as recon. That doesn't necessarily mean that some rounds I will push to sort of keep the other team on their toes.
I did expect a more aggressive playstyle on your end, but I also seemed to notice that you were quite passive for when you thought there's an opportunity to strike, and then you would start pushing out of nowhere. Probably when you announced it over comms or something, but for me it usually just looked like you were just sneaking around, and at one point you just hit a switch and you start going. And once you start going, you don't really stop.
It's much easier to do that on tarmac than it is oil stain now.
Yeah.
Because I guess there's less clear-cut sight lines. Tarmac it's sort of cut in two, so you can sort of retreat more easily. But you've got such a distance to retreat on oil stain
Smile
where you're
moved
still
in
in the
from
sight
Agil's
line.
Mumble server by producer said.
So you can turn tail and run an eastern corridor, but the enemy will still see you for like 20 seconds later.
Yeah, I also really appreciated your picks of the set are long on this. At first, I was like jokingly saying, "Is this oil stain? Why is that are long?" But you pretty much have proven that there's plenty of corridors to hold with a fair distance to keep the enemy suppressed or even kill them from there. So,
You'll find the same story on transit where the map is small but the sight lines are really long.
Yeah, I've watched you play Trans, and that's what I was talking to my team about. Is yours that are long use? It's not uncalled for in the smaller maps. I think it makes sense to me. I've watched you do it. You're very efficient at it. So we did talk about that on our end as well.
Yeah.
So moving on to Smell, who I just dragged in because he wasn't on the mumble up until a bit recently. So Smell, I already mentioned this to Snella. He seemed to be very successful pushing past your dead packs by just a little bit more than he should have needed to get by. Do you think you just got unlucky, or what was the problem? Very insightful.
I don't know if he's used Mumble before. He might be working out his option.
Yeah, push to talk.
Were you guys not on comm together?
No, we were. We were in Discord.
Oh, you're using Discord, right? Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
let's move that aside for later then. Let's just go over to, let's see. Let's move over to Lady actually.
Yeah.
So you were mostly on tarmac trying to
I'm
Get
like,
yeah, you were mostly trying to get a hold, it seems, of basement and lower tarmac a lot, and at one point you sadly missed a chance to capture the ghost, where it was on lower tarmac, because both Beans and Inignat ended up being inside like the buildings, like the briefing room and stuff, so you could have easily just pushed the ghost and capped it for your team.
that's true. Yeah. I think I was a bit too focused on just getting kills instead of the overall greater situation. I was, thinking there's someone and I'm gonna get him. No, I can cap the ghost and get everyone
I mean,
rank
on the
up.
other hand, you also never know if, somebody might just be on the ghost, so...
Yeah, sometimes it was a bit of a shot in the dark, or I assumed the person might be there just in case.
Other than that, you seem to perform quite solidly.
Yeah, I really like Tarmac in comparison to Oil Stain. On Oil Stain, Beans kept getting me, but on Tarmac, I seem to be in the right place at the right time a fair amount.
Yeah, I also noticed that on Tarmac, the teams were a bit more, well, both teams seem to be a bit more coordinated than they seem to be on Oil Stain. That and the fact that, I don't know, even though everybody was quite far apart, both teams still had sort of their own territories they hold together, a general perimeter, if you can say it that way.
There's definitely more room to play tactically on Tarmac than there is on Oil Stain. Oil Stain just gives you too much, like, oh fuck moments to, like, you have to react to stuff so quickly.
You can
Shit
close
just happens.
really quick, which
Yeah,
is
because Tarmac is really
tactical play goes
three-dimensional.
goes out the door rather.
Yeah.
Recons prove to be way stronger on Oil Stain than they are on Tarmac, in my opinion, though. Because
Yeah,
they,
it's because it's been saying it's because you can cross the map so quickly.
yeah, they carry the most impact if they get the right time to strike. I mean, you could do the same with an assault, but it's not as likely as it is with a recon to cause a lot of chaos and havoc by just crashing in. I'm also very happy about the nade plays I saw in this match in general.
Even the very first one, which killed Sniper.
Yes, for example, that was a very good grenade, because
Yeah,
now
it was a
we're
good
bolstering
grenade, I liked
we're bolstering the team kill stat a bit. Gotta keep the negative stats up a bit as well.
It's not
But
NeoTokyo,
I'm
there's a
also
team
talking about the grenade that has been pushed past the boxes to I'm not sure who was behind the boxes at the
That was
time.
great.
Yeah, that grenade was so spot on. It had the
Oh, the
perfect
one
perspective
lady.
as well.
That was lady.
Yeah, it was me. Beans. I think.
Sorry,
yeah,
lady.
No, it was a good grenade because you bounced it right off the boxes instead
It was
of behind.
beautiful.
I pride
The
myself
best part
on
is I had a
play.
grenade set up right in the corner behind the boxes so I could see like everything, and then I just see the grenade actually slip by into the mic, like into my camera basically, and just blow up. It was perfect. All in all, that was one of the few highlights, even if it was just a little highlight, because most of the match was pretty, I would say, still pretty streamlined, regardless of the first map being a bit devastating. Other than that, both teams always had pretty close calls going on, even though on Tarmac there weren't many rounds in the favor of you guys from the Uncertain Love Triangle. You always brought it down to quite low numbers in terms of health and people, so regardless of the round count being pretty low on your end on that map, I still feel like you put up quite a good fight.
Yeah,
And then on Tarmac, you
Thanks.
kicked it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then on Tarmac, you actually kicked it up another notch, just going into the 6-6 situation, nearly making it yours. But like I said, I feel like Smile's dead pack, and in the round where Snala came in with the AA-13, if that would have exploded and get him, yeah, that would have probably
Would
decided
have been a whole
around in
different
your favor.
conversation.
Yeah.
I just, oh man, I just wish I could have identified where he was. That was the main issue for me. Couldn't tell where the AA was. I heard it early round, but I couldn't tell where the fuck he was running around. He was so quick with it. Because what I was trying to do is I'm going to take a long sight line so he couldn't just fucking pop me, right? But I ended up shooting myself in the foot, metaphorically, by being in a kind of a close corner at the end where he was able to close the gap.
Right,
So,
I kind of cheesed that last kill though, because I did sort of jump through an entire MX barrage and didn't die.
feels bad, man.
It was
I
a
wanna
bit,
reach out.
it was a bit cheesy, honestly, but
It looked amazing though.
I had the speed and I was just like, look, if I stop now, this isn't a glorious death.
I'm
I'm
really
at least
glad
gonna go.
Snyder got it because I don't think I would have got beat.
I saw you right behind too. I was like, oh man.
Yeah, it's pretty rude of
This
me.
is
If I
it.
died there, you would have been under so much pressure. Like,
So, moving on to Osaka here.
Hello.
You've been awfully silent. What do you think?
About the match.
Well, not just about the match, but do you feel like you were screwing around Stain, or what did go through your head when you started realizing that, you know, it might be taken to the third map, that it's more like them stepping up, or, you know, I think you're the team leader of the whole group, right?
Yeah, guess I'm the one calling the shots most of the time and coordinating.
So yeah, what
others.
was going through your head at
That's
the
what he
point?
thinks.
I think
Did you just feel like you were starting to like let go, get a bit easy with stuff, or did you just feel like they were kicking it up a notch, making it giving a hard time to you?
I think it's like it's a thing where the other team playing as best as they could brings out like even better player in our team.
Hmm.
Like the best enemies make you fly the highest, like the saying goes.
It's beautiful.
So I think like if we wouldn't have that sort of a match, we wouldn't have seen like us trying the AI13 strat or anything like that. And I think the match was so much funnier and so much interesting because it was tight match, close match.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that last AA13 rush wasn't really like a sort of fucking around thing. Like, it was like, I just sort of thought of it because it was pretty left field compared to how we played the rest of the two maps. We hadn't done anything like, particularly outlandish. Honestly, we played it fairly safe for both maps.
Yeah,
and
that
I
was
thought for the last round, just do something that neither team has probably thought of and do something completely outlandish.
Yeah, the only class switch of either map.
Well, I mean, the AA13 rush was introduced earlier today, so it was nothing too out of the world for today's standards.
Right.
Of course not.
But it definitely was a total change of pace in general with this map, especially after most of the time the match would play out that teams would be sort of passive for, you know, 10, 15, 20 seconds to get some intel in before the first actual pushes happen. But instead, you just, you know, right from the start, you started to go to the other side of the map, quickly taking the initiative to overwhelm people and just gun them down. And that's probably where the winning factor came in, because it was, you just kicked it up a notch, you sped up the pace, and they weren't prepared for it.
Yeah, if any of the other teams probably watched this match, probably got a good idea of how this team will be playing, and like, we're probably going to be taking it pretty easily, like, mostly as a step back from my previous playstyles of Recon. I just, like, at this time I just want to see just how much I can get away with playing a more passive Recon, and I think, like, anyone who watched this match would be, like, expecting us to be fucking lazy and passive for most of our matches to come.
Well, maybe just a way for you to try and deceive it, and then just whoever your opponent is. In this case, it'll be, let me have a look. In this case, you will be going up against former Diamond Busters.
Oof.
So,
Well, just a thought. I don't think if anybody's, you know, watching this, and if they're, you know, if they have any brains, they shouldn't consider it a lazy playstyle. It's a valid playstyle, absolutely. So to consider it kind of like a laid back style and like not giving it your all, that's, you know, that's not a good way to look at it, I think.
Yeah, it's just sort of
Just saying,
phrase,
like,
but yeah,
I'm saying
I
if
get
anyone discounts it, don't think they're thinking of it in the right light. So it's absolutely valid, and it was very well played.
So things will be getting quite interesting here with the upcoming match, because it's gonna be a partial recreation of Cloaks on Ducks versus, what was your team called again?
I don't know, some fucking gay probably, anti-gay boys, I don't know.
Yeah, something like that. But
might
it will
as well
be
be
a
his
partial
name.
recreation, because it'll mean you
Neo
are
Twinks,
going to
it was
face...
Neo Twinksy, right?
Yeah, it was NeoTokyo.
Yeah, I'm just gonna get my ass kicked by Deep Frog again. That's what's
Yeah,
gonna
it's gonna
happen.
be a recreation of that in the sense of both recons having to face off here again.
Well, I insist last time it wasn't me versus Deep Frog, it was me versus Deep Frog and Halcyon, so that was fucked up. Maybe this time it'll be a bit more fair.
And if I may, when I was watching before, because I was kind of that first round, or not the first round, but that first map for them, I didn't see Deep Frog really show up this map as much as I expected him to kind of dominate.
Well, but Transit was a good example of how aggressive you can get.
I think he was gameplaying himself a little bit, honestly. I don't think he was giving it his all. And also, he hasn't played much in the way of recon for a little while. He's usually just been going super hard with the SRS and Assault in most clubs and stuff. But
yeah, that's fair.
I do feel like he might have been gameplaying himself a little bit. I'm not sure. He's like insanely good. But like the staple for that team is like definitely not Deep Frog, he's just the recon. It's Olio. Olio's carrying that team on his shoulders for sure. Like he's a fucking rock, is that guy. He's like the most dependable player you could ever think of.
Yeah, it's crazy because like as you said, it's just his playstyle to sneak around and then just being so successful with it over and over again. Just having the right timing to strike and such. It just runs in his blood. You can just feel like it's running through his blood because he seems to just have a great awareness of the general situation at all times.
He's not like super dependent on like crazy movement or anything. Because I've never played with Beans, I don't think. I was super struck by how quick he was as an assault. It's pretty cool. But Olio is like, he's old school assault where bunny hopping was not allowed. But he just has like an insane amount of awareness.
Also proves the fact that not everything is related to movement in this game, even though many people claim for it to be that way.
Mostly is. But yeah,
tell it all, you know. I'm pretty sure you can tell you stories about how that's not true. In any case, I think we now have the thoughts of everyone, unless somebody wants to toss around more things at each other.
Good game, guys. It was great.
Yeah, good game, especially that
Yeah,
second
good
round.
game.
Yeah.
So you want to conclude it with
Good
this,
luck.
or
Good game.
I'm just,
well,
that's why my
besides the
family,
fact,
I want to thank God. I want to thank them for giving me such a good match and bringing out the best of my team. But I fucking hate you because I'm not gonna get that T-shirt that exists.
wait, there's
But
a
really good
T-shirt.
game, guys.
But there's a t-shirt?
No, there's not.
Oh, fuck.
I wish there was.
I was about
that's
to
really
say.
what was meeting me.
It costs fucking money, dude.
Yeah, that's the only thing that
No
motivated
one,
me
no
was
one
the
in NT has
imaginary
money.
T-shirt.
Ah,
That's why we play
Okay.
a source mod and not
We're
a
all
real game.
meats here.
so I'm personally glad that we can conclude the night on one hand because I'm just really tired. On the other hand, I'm sad that it's over because I was really hoping for a third map.
Yeah, absolutely.
My voice is sore. My eyes are burning. My hands
Man,
are
it takes
shaking.
some
Yeah,
well
Mom's
deserved
spaghetti.
rest.
Yeah,
My goodness.
good.
I think you should get that looked at.
Definitely man of the match of all night has been producer.
Yeah,
well,
I
my,
wanna
my
thank
casting
everyone.
has been going downhill with the last match, especially after the server crashing in the second game, just making
don't
me
worry
get
about
thrown
it.
off so badly.
Been great. I'm really glad that you've been doing it.
And we're having one more match later on today, at least in my time zone. For the US folks, it's going to be tomorrow. We'll be looking at Dance Floor Arsonists and Team A and B standing off at 10 p.m. GMT. I highly suggest checking that out as well. And the winner of this will be facing the biggest underdogs that have proven that they, regardless of just having 10 hours total playtime, all three players combined, are able to take it further. YouTube shit.
YouTube shit, fuck killed
I'm
it. Can
rooting
I
for
say
them.
that?
Oh
I
my
casted
God.
that. That was insane. Me
It
and
was
Cootie were
smooth.
casting that. That was
They are
ridiculous.
my favorite team. Oh. I want them
It
to
was,
go to
it
finals.
was honestly insane watching that. That should be a very good matchup.
Other than that, we will be having in round 2, True Love Gang, Forbidden Forbidden Love against Reginald for Bartlesby. That's me versus Ray Bob. I just want to kick his ass, to be honest.
Shouldn't be too hard, right? Bob fucking sucks.
Then we got Schmelly Skanks versus Tenga coming up. That's going to be a very hot match to look at, I'm pretty sure. And then we got former Diamond Busters and True Love Gang GORECOPS, which I personally, for myself, will consider the highlight for round 2. And other than that, we will have the crazy match between the winner of Dance Floor Arsonists versus Team A and B facing YouTube Shit, which also probably will be in for quite a ride. That said, tune back in at 10 p.m. GMT tomorrow to make sure that you also find out who will be facing that crazy team. With this, I'm going to conclude it for tonight.
Good
Thanks
night,
everyone for watching. Thanks for listening to my commentating, even though it went downhill towards the end because I'm really tired. I appreciate Cootie Baby being with me through all 3 matches, even though he told me after the first match that he might not be able to handle the second one and the third one. But
Yeah, I really didn't do anything after that.
and obviously thank you to like everybody organizing and so on, because it's been going so well with, you know, actually getting it all done, besides of small hiccups of server crashes and so on that are not that influential.
Shout out to Servo.
Yeah,
Shout out to
Servo.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
with that, I think we're done.